Welcome back to the KSN Storm Tracker 3 Weather Center. I'm continuing to keep a close eye on the storm that we have in Galloway County at this time. As I mentioned before, we do have potential rotation with this storm, and we have a tornado warning that's currently in effect for Galloway County. And this area, again, we haven't had any reports of a tornado on the ground, but we're still seeing an indication on Storm Tracker radar that we may have some rotation associated with this storm as it tracks to the north and east across Galloway County.
All right, thanks, Laura. Yes, we are going to talk now with Rick Schaefer. He is at Central Burden High School. Rick, are you there? Hello, Rick, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you.
Hello. Now, you are taking some safety precautions with your students. Tell me what's happening there.
We, once we received the warning indication, we have put our elementary and our high school students all in shelter.
Okay, tell me whereabouts you're located in relation to this possible touchdown near Strother Field.
We are about 25-mile northeast of Strother Field.
Okay, how many kids are we talking about here?
We have about 300.
Okay, and I'm sure parents, they're worried and they want to know what's happening. Are you telling them to just sit tight and you're going to keep the kids
That's right.
at school?
Once we go to shelter, then it's our policy to keep them in shelter till the emergency is passed.
All right. And what are the kids doing at this point? We have long practiced tornado drills. What do you have them do?
They're in shelter, and of course we have lots of people in small safety places, and so it's warm and hot, and they're basically just talking, and they reacted very well. You always wonder how your kids are going to react in a situation like this, and they did an outstanding job of proceeding orderly to a storm shelter.
So for parents who may be listening, how will you notify them at the point when you're able to release the kids to go home?
We have what's called a school messenger phone. It'll be a phone message to everyone.
Okay. Rick, as we talk to you, we're also looking at a picture now that was taken near the Ark City Hospital, and it looks like a pretty well-defined funnel cloud right now. Have you been able to see anything from where you are?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
And currently it is not raining now. It rained earlier, and right now it's not raining at all. It's just getting darker.
I'm sure all of Kansas really has had a lot of rain. Are there folks in your area that are worried, if not about tornadoes, that the flooding that any more rain could produce?
Absolutely.
Have you had a lot of homes suffer damage from flooding?
No, we haven't in this area, but parts of here, east and south of here, have. So we've been pretty much on the western edge of everything that's happened here in the last couple of days.
Okay. Well, we thank you for letting us know what's going on in your part of Kansas. And again, parents, if you're listening, your kids are well taken care of, and the school will let you know when the danger has passed and the kids can come home from school. Thank you again, Rick. All right. Let's send it back to Laura now to see what the current conditions are. Laura, does it seem to be reorganizing, or is this starting to fizzle? Can you tell?
Well, Steph, yeah, we actually just got a fresh update on the radar, and then we also are getting some confirmed reports from spotters that are out on the storm now. They're all out in Galloway County, and now we have the reports that the sirens are sounding for the cities of Burden and Cambridge. So this is according to the Galloway County Emergency Manager. So for the areas in Burden as well for Cambridge, the sirens are now sounding. So if you are in those areas, you need to be going to your tornado safe place. That's the lowest part of your home, away from windows. You want to get underneath a sturdy table.
I talked with Carl in the dispatch center there in Galloway County, and this is the latest. This is really a summary of everything that has happened up to this point. They tell us that they do confirm that one tornado briefly touched down near Strother Field. That was reported by the public and then confirmed by trained spotters. So we do know of one confirmed touchdown. No damage and no injury. So, of course, good news there. The tornado then moved across US 77 into farmland, as we talked about. A lot of times that is the case, luckily, that it moves into rural areas where there's not many homes, not many businesses to cause damage. The tornado moved across US 77 into farmland. The twister did not touch down. It was then spotted southwest of Atlanta. That's in northeast Galloway County. No reported damage from hail or straight line winds. Of course, when we have the threat of tornado, we often have that heavy rain, the threat of large hail that can be damaging, and just powerful winds that can be damaging. Luckily, we have not gotten any damage from that and no injuries. So get folks up to speed about what we know about this storm right now. One tornado did briefly touch down near Strother Field there, near Winfield. No damage and no injuries reported. We're then told, this is coming from emergency management, that the tornado moved east across US 77 into farmland. We've gotten several viewer photos that show it out in the country, so no real threat at that point. Another funnel that did not touch down was spotted southwest of Atlanta in northeast Cowley County. Avery Anderson from KSN is driving into Cowley County right now. She's going to join us live over the phone. Avery, where are you and what can you see?
Steph, we are in Cowley County right now, just entered into Udall. We're still northwest of Winfield right now, on our way over to see the damage, if there is any damage down there, and then we might make our way over to Cambridge as well. But as you can see, this is what I'm seeing right now. My photographer Dylan is driving. I'm in the passenger seat. It's still fairly clear out here, but as we're heading more southeast, you can see darker clouds out towards that area, towards Winfield and Cambridge area. It was pretty clear on our way down here, but we can definitely tell we're getting into more of the heart of the storm as of right now. So like I said, this is a live picture of our view right now, right outside of our windshield. No activity where we are at this point, but we are heading towards it right now. As you know, stay with KSN, we'll keep you updated, and I know Laura will as well, so we'll send it back to you guys.
Avery, before I let you go, if you can still hear me, we're hearing reports of heavy rain. That alone is trouble for many parts of Kansas, that the ground is so saturated. We've had flooding. As you drive, are you seeing in the ditches any standing water? Is it starting to add up?
Steph, at this point, we don't see any kind of moisture out here. We haven't had any rain at this point. We know we're heading more towards that area. We can definitely see some rain clouds out in that area right there. But as of right now, there's been no rainfall that we have seen, so no flooding or anything like that.
Okay. Thank you, Avery, and we'll continue to check back as you make your way into Cowley County. Let's go back to Laura now for an update.
I still continue to keep a close eye on the storm.
We are joined over the phone now by Megan, who is in Winfield. Megan, can you hear me? Megan called in. She is working at the Walmart in Winfield. Megan, are you there?
Yes.
Hello, and thank you for calling in. Tell me what's going on in your part of Cowley County. I know we had one storm pass through. Now we're watching another. Have you been in shelter this whole time, or have you been able to kind of come out and surmise what's going on?
We went out for about maybe 20 minutes, and now we're back here again, and we have all the customers back here. So now we're just waiting.
Tell me what it looked like when you were out for that 20 minutes. What's the weather doing where you can see it?
It looked like it was raining pretty hard. I don't think I heard any hail, but there's definitely a lot of rain, and it's back and forth. Like, it'll sound like it's pouring, and then it'll let up, and then it'll happen again, and then it's pouring. So it's a lot of back and forth.
And where is it in the Walmart that you're able to take shelter?
In the back, we have an area. It's like a layaway area. Mm-hmm. That's where we shoved all them. It's back in the layaway area where there's no windows. And then I'm back in the employee area where we are allowed. So
it's a great thing that you have a designated area. Did you find when you were pulling the customers back there, were they aware of the weather situation? Again, sometimes we're caught off guard by severe weather at this time of year. Were they aware what was going on?
Not really, no. A lot of them wanted to leave. They have the option to leave because obviously we can't make them stay here. But they have to leave. They can't continue to shop. They have to leave and go home. They can't continue to stay here and shop. If they want to leave, they have to leave.
Okay. How many people would you estimate you have right now in shelter with you?
Oh, boy, I don't know. 100 or so.
Oh, really? That many? Okay, well, we're going to keep you informed, and as long as you can hear us, we're going to be tracking this storm, and we'll let you know when it's safe to come out. I'm glad, though, you're taking care of the staff and employees there at the Winfield Walmart. Again, this is a second storm. The The first one moved on, fizzled. Now we're looking at a second storm. So thank you for calling in, Megan. Let's rejoin Laura and Katie for an update.
Yeah, no, it's good news that they're already in their tornado safe place in Winfield. I know we had that first round of storms go through Cowley County. We had reports of a tornado, and then the storms lifted, and it looks like we caught a break there for maybe 2 minutes, and then on the southern end of that storm, it just backbuilded all the way near Winfield. So still no confirmed reports around the area as of right now, but we still have several tornado warnings that are in effect across parts of Cowley County and Elk and Chautauqua counties here. So let's move in closer. I'm going to take you on to the southern end, or this back end near Winfield. Yeah, Winfield, you're in the clear now. We do see some light rain showers there, but if you move just to the north and east near New Salem, that's where we're seeing that potential rotation with that storm as it moves to the north and east. I'm going to put a quick track on this storm, and we can see the communities that would be impacted. Here's that most likely location for a tornado moving to the north and east, and it looks like it will continue over open country, and that's good news, but we want to still be on guard for a potential tornado with the storm. And then we'll move farther to the east across Chautauqua and even Elk counties. Still no reports of a tornado. I'm looking over here with our National Weather Service chat to see if we have any fresh information as far as spotters and what exactly they're seeing. But here's that other storm that we were watching, kind of on the fence with this one, but we still have that tornado warning as it crosses into Elk County. And there's Howard at this time. We'll put a track on this most likely location. It's not as pretty and as defined than what we would look for, but it looks like it's giving us an arrival time of Moline in 11 minutes. I checked in with you guys earlier and I told you, you need to be doing something. Get up, start moving. Now is the time. It's not the time to go outside and take pictures. It's the time now to do something. Now, I'm going to send it to Katie. She's actually going to do the behind the scenes look and look at the velocity part, the Doppler part of the radar.
All right, thanks, Laura. Yeah, so here's what we're looking at for, again, that potential for anything tornadic. So the good news is we don't have anything confirmed right now, and there's several spotters out there, so likely if there was anything on the ground, we would be having reports of it, though it can happen within seconds. So still stay on alert as these continue to develop. So here's the two main storms that we're talking about right now. So that's that storm that's now just to the east of Winfield. So here's the rotation that we look at. So we have the green colors that indicates wind that's going towards the radar. Red is winds that's going away from the radar. So right now it doesn't look incredibly tight or what we would expect for something potentially tornadic. This is kind of more broad rotation. So I would expect there's maybe a wall cloud developing on it or a slight lowering, but nothing like a funnel cloud or something to the ground. And again, no reports of that at this point in time, but that would be the area of concern. So again, this is just to the east of Winfield. This is tracking off towards the northeast. It is a tornado warned storm, but again, radar indicated rotation. So that one we're watching, but also still watching this storm here that again is into Chautauqua County. So another tornado warned storm also slowly moving off towards the northeast. What I want you to take note of though is that this storm is getting a little bit further away from the radar. So it's something we have to keep in mind is actually now your radar scan is kind of reading much higher up into the storm. So it's going to pick up on stronger wind speeds that are higher in the storm. Doesn't necessarily indicate what's translated down to the ground, which would then be a potential tornado. So we can't see that with radar. That's why we have storm spotters out there to confirm that for us. But still, you can see at least some broad rotation ongoing with this tornado warned storm. Again, just radar indicated, nothing confirmed, but you do have some of those bright greens again with the wind coming towards the radar and at least some light reds of the winds coming away from the radar. So still not seeing something quite as tight as what we saw earlier with the confirmed tornadoes that we had. But again, that's all dissipated. But these are the two main storms that we're looking at right now, both still tornado warned, but for that radar indicated rotation. So either way, if you're in the path of these storms, want you to seek shelter immediately. But still, more storms are developing across the region.
That's right. We do have news for parents in Cowley County. If you've got a student in Winfield schools, listen up. Winfield students in USD 465 are being dismissed late today because of the tornado warning. Staff and students are in safe shelters right now. The school tells us they will let parents know when the weather is clear and the students can be released. In the meantime, they're asking parents to please stay home and stay in shelters. It's not a good idea to come down to the school or to be calling. They have the staff and students in shelter. They are safe, and as soon as things start to clear up, they will let parents and everyone know when it's safe to come get your student or when students will be bused home. So we'll be sure as well to keep you updated on that. We do want to bring you up to speed We've been talking in Cowley County about two separate storms. One storm formed earlier today, and a tornado was briefly confirmed near Strother Field. No damage, no injuries. The tornado then moved east across US 77 into farmland. Another storm formed and is now moving through Cowley County. It just moved through Burden, and we learned that the second storm, caused some minor damage just west of Burden. We're told it's outbuildings, but again, no injuries have been reported, just minor damage near Burden. We do have a crew headed there. We'll be checking in with Avery Anderson again a little bit later in the afternoon. Let's go back to Laura.
And that's exactly where that storm is right now. It's right over Burden, so you need to be in your tornado safe place. Hopefully we are in that tornado safe place listening to us here at KSN. This new update, this just came in earlier. I told you that we had some citizen reports of a tornado that touched down, then it lifted back up. Now we have a trained spotter that's actually on this storm, and they were able to relay the information back to us and let us know that there is actually a tornado on the ground. So we have the tornado warning in effect for Saline County at this time. Now this is just east of Salina. I'm going to move around on storm tracker radar and see if we can get some more updates on this storm as it progresses in the same manner to the north and east. So there's Salina heading toward Abilene at this time, right along I-70. So we have reports of an actual tornado, and we're seeing that box. That box may be difficult to see, I will admit. And so I'm going to draw a little box around this. That's where we're seeing that potential tornado. This is just east of Salina near Kip. We had that report that it was just east of Kip as well. And it's moving to the east, Salina, to the north and east at about 30 miles per hour. So this is a new tornado warning that was just issued. A small area is included. So there's Kip that just popped up on our radar. Just got a fresh update for this storm. And it doesn't look as defined in what we normally would look for this storm, but nonetheless, still a potentially dangerous situation. We have reports from trained spotters as well for citizens near Kip for this storm. East of Salina, if you're in Salina, I still want to be on guard for the weather. Now's not the time to go outside and go check out the weather. You need to be doing something. Move to a place of safety. So this storm is on the way to Abilene. You can see now we just got a fresh update that this is actually, okay, so what we were waiting for is for Dickinson County to signal their tornado warning. So we have that one for Saline County, and then it extended into Dickinson. So we have a confirmed tornado located 6 miles south of Solomon, moving to the north and east at 30 miles per hour. So Abilene, you are in the path of this storm.
Wanted to update you on the situation in Cowley County in Winfield. Good news, the kids that were being held in shelter during the stormy period, they are now being released to their parents. And there you see a statement from Winfield Schools. USD 465 has released all students from all buildings at this time. More storms are projected to be in the area throughout the afternoon and evening. All activities and athletic events have been canceled. Please be safe while you pick up your student as soon as possible. If your student is a bus rider, the buses are loading now and will be home shortly. So again, if you live in town or close enough to go get your student at Winfield Schools, that's a good idea to do it now before any more weather moves in. If your student rides the bus, though, parents can stay put. They will be loaded onto a bus and taken home quickly. But no events in Winfield tonight. The storm has lessened right now, but of course, it could always build up again. So no activities, no athletic events in Winfield.
Okay, keep us posted. Thanks a lot there, Laura. Of course, we have team coverage tonight of this severe weather, and not only are our reporters that are spread out across the viewing area covering the storm, also viewers at home. We've got some new video. This was taken by Pam Welsh. This is near Salina. You can see that funnel cloud in the distance. I believe that's considered a stovepipe tornado, I think is what it looks like right there. And no reports of any damage or injuries from that. Hopefully it's out there kind of in a field and nothing around. But thanks again to Pam, who sent us this video, a pretty impressive stovepipe tornado that was near, or actually in Saline County.
We want to check in now with Ashley Arnold. The last time we talked to her over the phone, she was around the McPherson area. She's been heading towards Salina. Ashley, if you can hear me, go ahead and tell us where you are now and what you're seeing.
Right now, I'm just, I apologize for doing this. I can't say exactly where I am at this point in time. There's no mile marker showing up, but I am still heading towards Salina right now. It's saying that I'm still in McPherson, actually, but as I'm driving towards, while the clouds seem to be behind me, there's some that seem to be a bit ahead of me, but seems quite far away. The wind is actually picking up quite a bit. I can definitely tell you that I am certainly feeling it. I can see it with the way that it's moving the trees, but I can feel that my car on its own is kind of just swaying around a little bit. So if people are driving, they definitely want to be aware that there are a lot of high winds that are coming up right now, and that's even without any rain or anything coming at this moment. I'm just kind of driving down on I-135, heading north towards Salina. The clouds ahead of me, they don't seem as ominous as the ones that I was seeing earlier, but obviously these storms are kind of moving and continuing to move into the area. I haven't hit any rain just yet, haven't hit any hail or anything of that nature. I'm not sure if you can kind of hear how strong the wind is right now against my car, but it is definitely pretty tremendous at this point.
And you can't see it, but we're actually running some video that a KSN viewer sent to us near Salina of a tornado on the ground. Looks like it's out to be kind of in a rural area, lots of trees, probably a field. But along your way, you haven't encountered any damage, it sounds like.
No, I haven't seen any damage or anything like that. There have been, just people driving up and down the road, but so far, no damage that I've seen, no trees that are down, no buildings that seem to be impacted or anything of that nature. Just a lot of wind that's just kind of blowing everything around.
Okay, be careful out there. Ashley Arnold reporting live for us tonight on her way to Salina. We'll check back with her in just a bit.
As we've been following severe weather all afternoon, really the only damage reports have come from Cowley County. We had a couple storms move through the Winfield area, and there was a little bit of damage in Burden. We sent Avery Anderson and her photographer to that area. Avery joins us now over the phone. Avery, can you tell us what you're finding?
Stephanie, Darren, it's really lightened up throughout the afternoon and early evening here in Burden. There was a ton of rain and cloud coverage, but now all of that's pretty lightened up. So let me show you a picturesque picture, if you will, of the storm. You can see behind me, all of this is what's heading northeast towards Salina and that area. As you can see off here to the east, it is really lightened up. That storm is starting to break down at this point in time, but as you can see, my photographer is panning off to the north, and that's definitely where the clouds are moving right now. You can see some rain out towards that area. There's been some thunder and lightning way off in the distance, but as of right now, we haven't seen anything here for the last really hour and a half or so. Now, I did talk to some citizens earlier today. They said they were taking cover at a gas station here in downtown Burden, but they were saying that they were surveying the area earlier today. They did take cover in their basement up towards this area and towards Atlanta when there was that tornado watch here. But they said that as of right now, there isn't much damage. We have heard of a little bit of damage just west of Burden. Some structures had a little bit of damage to them, but as of right now, we haven't seen any. We'll continue to survey the area, and we'll get back to you when we hear more.
All right, that was Avery Anderson reporting from Burden. The good news in all of this, as stressful, as tense as this afternoon has been, very minor damage and no injuries reported so far.
And we were just talking about this earlier. You don't really think of severe weather in October, but this is kind of, I know Dave says it all the time, this is kind of our second severe weather season.
Right.
So,
and we sometimes can get a little bit complacent, but as you can tell, it can hit any day of the year. So we have to be, on guard all of the time.
So in just 6 miles northeast of Eureka, that's in Greenwood County, the fire department is reporting some water over Highway 400. This is near V Road, and there's water standing in the passing lane. And then 4 miles northeast of Eureka, we're looking at the emergency managers reporting water over the Kansas Highway 99 in multiple areas north of Highway 400. So a lot of rain on top of that. We did receive one official report earlier in Winfield. We had over 2.5 inches of rain, and it continues to pile on as these storms really begin to bubble up and fire up. So I'll send it back to you at the desk.
Okay, thanks, Laura. We talk all about the wind and the threat for tornadoes, but you got to forget about all that. We forget about the rain. And,
That's
what I mean?
right.
And
we
it's flooding everywhere.
More than enough this summer. Okay, we have some video just in from a viewer. Becky Birdson sent us this. Yeah, that is disturbing. East of Salina, again, this is the storm that we are watching in Saline County. It's moving into Dickinson County. This was taken east of Salina by a viewer, Becky.
Wow, look at that. Almost. No, I'm not an expert, but that all developing almost into like a wedge tornado. There is what it looks
you
like.
can see the rotation even
it looks
as
like
you
a pretty
watch
strong.
the video.
Yeah, look at that right there. Okay, well, we've got Ashley Arnold. She's been making a trek towards Salina this afternoon. She's with us again on the phone. And Ashley, I understand you have an update for us.
Yes, well, I just entered Saline County. I'm not too far away from Salina. What I've been seeing as I'm going down 135, the sky is definitely, they're more consistently gray now, but also, as I'm passing, I'm seeing more and more people who pulled their cars over off to the shoulder of the road. And I've been passing by and seeing some highway patrol that have been stopping to make sure those people are all right. I don't know the exact reason why people are pulling over, whether it's because they're worried about the wind itself. I know I saw one person trying to change a tire, which would be definitely a dangerous situation out here right now. But the wind that we're seeing is, like I said earlier, just picking up very, very strong. You can possibly hear it in the car. You can definitely feel it figure out if you're driving in these conditions right now. The skies are very, very gray. At this point, no rain coming down, no hail on this area right now. I'm passing exit 86, which is Mentor Road or Smolin Road, in about 3/4 of a mile. So that's going to be, like, as I'm heading closer and closer towards the line, I'm going to keep posted as far as what I'm seeing. But for now, things have been, they seem calm in the respect of not having rain, not having hail, not seeing any rotations or anything of that nature as I'm driving.
Okay, well, be safe out there. Thank you so much, Ashley. And as Katie and Laura said, that the tornado warning for Dickinson County is expected to expire at 5:30. Thank goodness.
Good news.